AM 560, The Answer.
How low? Low living. How low is Illinois? You celebrate your slaves. Celebrate the slave master. Celebrate him.
Her husband was once a high-powered Chicago alderman. Now she's been tapped to take the top job on the state's highest court. Ann Burke will become Chief Justice of the Illinois Supreme Court when she's sworn in next month. She's the wife of indicted Alderman Ed Burke. Ed Burke is still facing federal corruption charges. He pleaded not guilty earlier this year to bribery, racketeering, and extortion charges. Because he's facing federal charges, it's unlikely his case will be a conflict for his wife.
Not at all. Not a conflict at all. Too stupid to be ashamed. Greg in LaGrange.
Hey, Shaun, how are you today?
When I found out this judge, when I looked into this rat, I couldn't believe the same rat who was pardoned by Bill Clinton. And somehow he's a judge because he found enough morons to vote for him because he was a Democrat. And and by the way, this is the result we know. How about the tens of thousands of results we don't know because it didn't get this kind of publicity in a city that's been covering up for the mafia for 70 years through their propagandists called reporters? It's aggravating, isn't it?
It's unbelievable. And when you look at just the totality of it's just evil and it's just craziness. Whether you're burning someone alive or you have people on TV engaging in language that can easily be construed as defamation against the president, and you get and you get elected officials like Jasmine Crockett and Ron Epstein, and how do these people get elected? And I would, you know what, and I know that there was some talk with your prior guests about redistricting and fixing the problem that way. The problem will never be fixed until you get some voters that have some common sense.
Well, that's the problem.
Western civilization values.
Listen,
you know
that's
good thing today, Shaun?
What's
one
that?
Good thing today?
What?
Oh, I'm sorry. One good thing today. I met this kid at the coffee shop. He's from Chile. He's going to the university here, Florida Atlantic. He's going to become a trader, and he was telling me that his work ethic was passed on to him by his dad, and he wants to work as hard as he can and build a family. But you know what he said? He goes, unfortunately, in Chile, a lot of the younger kids are getting to be very complacent and wanting things given to them and not willing to work for it. He goes, it's very disturbing back home. But this kid was like a breath of fresh air. I talked to him for 45 minutes. It was unbelievable.
Here, Greg, here's the thing to always remember and always stay optimistic about. Throughout the time has been recorded, it's only a third of people who are decent. That's it. It's all it's ever been. We're spoiled in this country because we were founded by by that third. But even then, even the Revolutionary War, a third was loyal to the king. A third were morons. We called them that version of Democrats. And the third was like me and you and that kid. And that's why I love the idea of legal immigration. Because if you're a decent person, you follow the rules. If you're not, and you want to work for the assets and the cartels and the scum, and you want to operate with anonymity, then you're an illegal alien. So that's the difference. So I love that story. Thank you for sharing it, Greg. I really appreciate that. Now, Ron in Roselle. How are you, Ron?
How you doing, Shaun?
Good. Buddy.
Hey, just wanted to tell you before I get to my point. First off, you're right up there with the Rush Limbaughs out there.
Oh, come on, baby.
Because, I live to listen to you for every afternoon. So
thank you.
Keep doing what you're doing. So
until they pull the plug.
Go ahead. Yeah, on all of us. Here's my thought. You want to stop this crap with these judges? It's real simple. When they let these scumbags off like that, make them do the time for the crime. And this will stop real quick. The lawyers, the prosecutors, and the judges, they all got to go to jail because of these things. That's what needs to be done.
The problem with what we've allowed to happen in our lifetime and in our fathers was that we allowed that plan, that mafia plan by Olinsky to really work. You allowed the bureaucracies to not only be infiltrated, but you allowed it to be known. And then look at how we were raised, right? Our whole life. Oh, that guy's got clout. He's got somebody. He's got a guy. We'll get that guy. Yeah. That's a problem, brother, because that leads to what we're experiencing. And this judge has done untold Untold damage. This is hopefully the most horrific, but how would you know? Because he's let out scum after scum after scum. And then you look at the Democrats in their total accomplishments in Illinois. Look at what they've done. They actually ran on releasing scum. And they won. The Safety Act, they win on that garbage. They win on killing the baby. They win on taxing the honest man. That's how they win now. I mean, that's Bernie Sanders' dream. You know, there was a time when that stuff was a scandal. And we're lucky enough we saw it. Hopefully our grandkids can see it again. But right now, our kids can't see it because there's no such thing as a scandal among Democrats. If Hillary Clinton, this whole thing with the billions, it doesn't mean anything to Democrats. They don't care. They just want something for nothing. It's the flaw of man. Thank you very much, brother.
Thanks.
Thank you. It's truly amazing, Squirrel. You know, we talk about this imbecile in New York, this Mandamni, and you realize it's the progression. This is Bernie Sanders when things were a scandal.
You know, it's funny. Sometimes American journalists talk about how bad a country is because people are lining up for food. That's a good thing. In other countries, people don't line up for food. The rich get the food and the poor starve to death. You know, as a socialist, the word socialism does not frighten me. I think when we were in Moscow, for example, I think most of the people here also were extremely impressed by their public transportation system. The stations themselves were absolutely beautiful, including many works of art, chandeliers that were beautiful. It was a very, very effective system. Also, I was impressed by the youth programs that they have, their palaces of culture for the young people.
That's exactly what Mayor Nero says, B.J. Nero, Brandon Johnson Nero. Same thing as Mandami, same thing. And what he's talking about is the Soviet Union that had killed, we don't know how many people. You don't know how many tens of millions they killed. But Bernie Sanders, let's do it here. And you know the similarities between Bernie and this Mandamni? He never had a job. 43 years old, never had a job. First thing he did was become a mayor.
A whole variety of of programs for young people and cultural programs which go far beyond what we do in this country.
To China and its leadership.
China.
Because if I'm not mistaken, they have made more progress in addressing extreme poverty than any country in the history of civilization. Okay, so they've done a lot of things for their people.
And who would vote for this? And it's the flaw of our country.
That's why I want to talk to you tonight on behalf of a God-given American right. The right to extreme stupidity. Extremely stupid.
They used to make fun of him then. Now she would be considered a right-wing nut. George, Naperville.
Shaun, you are the Rich Little of radio. When you repeated that word billions from the guy from Haiti that wouldn't be bought out by the Clintons, I could have swore it was him.
Billions and billions. Thank you very much. Rick, LaPorte, Indiana.
Yeah, Shaun. You know, the thing that gets me is what happened to that lady. Nobody stepped up on the train, you know, to try to help her before it happened. It seems like our country and these people, we're turning into a bunch of panty wastes.
Can you imagine? You know, when I go back to the ghetto, when I go back, first thing I do when I leave that, first thing I do, I put one in the chamber, right in the chamber. It's hot and ready to go. I'm looking for this stuff. Never happens around me. I'm looking for it. The idea that everybody sat on their ass, when you hear this, they sat on their ass, Rick.
They did.
I don't know how.
That's what I'm saying.
You know what? That's why, even though my uncle kicked everyone's ass in World War II when he fought the Japanese by his hands, he had respect for him. You know why? If they lost, they killed themselves because they couldn't live with themselves anymore. Now, in the American Democrats, you know what they do? They go on disability when they get depressed and can't live with themselves, and we pay. Again! 312-642-5600.
He's Shaun Thompson.
Hello, Mr. Thompson.
And this is the Shaun Thompson Show on AM 560. The Answer.